Hello, world.
Hello. Happy Tuesday.
Yes.
It's actually a little warmer. It's
Slightly.
Like, I don't know if it's exciting warm. I mean, it's, for me, 38 feels like almost balmy.
Heat wave.
Like,
It's like a heat wave. I'm pretty sure that in the last 7 days, there have been a couple days where it was -20 to -30 with the wind chill here.
yeah, I don't think I've seen the sun. And have you seen the sun? I mean, granted, I work in a room.
I work in a jail.
So neither one of, and there was
seen
no sun this weekend.
No.
So
I had sun on my trip. I did have to buy sunglasses because I lost my sunglasses
okay.
last Tuesday. But
So there
I
was
found
sun.
this
Where were you
Tuesday.
again? You were
We drove just past Boise.
okay. So there was sun
Along the drive, there was sun.
There was
on
no
Friday.
sun here. None.
Yes, and then by the time we came home Saturday night, it was stormy and yucky.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this little stretch of road I thought we were going to die. It was scary.
So our gratitude is that you got home safe.
My husband has incredible skills behind the wheel when all of a sudden you're in the middle of a snowstorm and you were doing it was not snowstorm, and then just like that it was snowstorm.
And then we can give gratitude that it's like a balmy 38.
Yes.
This is really exciting.
Absolutely.
So our topic tonight, well, first, I'm Shannon.
I'm Brandy. Yeah, that's who we are. And together we are the Thriving Relationship.
And we are talking about retreats tonight because we're constantly blowing up our feeds with retreats. Let's
Check out this retreat. Go to this retreat. Come hang out at this
We're going
retreat.
to do 4 retreats this year. You should go to all of them. And so it's probably time we tell you why.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's because we like to travel and we just want to have a reason, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
That can be part of it.
That's why we just pick places that we, on our bucket list. That's the next plan. That's 2020.
That's our next
2020.
Yeah.
All retreats will be in places that are on a bucket list of ours.
Yeah. Okay. And you'll have to decide, like, is this Shannon's bucket list or Brandy's bucket list?
Yeah, that would be a great game we'll play.
So coming out of the Idaho Falls retreat, I think it just clarified for me, especially because, I'm working a lot with couples in weekly. They come in for an hour once a week, and then having the opportunity to really work with couples for 2 full days.
Yeah.
And
such a different experience.
It's just different. Therapy, you have that hour, you dig in, and obviously we're not knocking therapy.
Right. I was just thinking like let's clarify what we're looking at is just really the differences, right? Therapy, absolutely. An hour slot once a week, twice a week.
Yeah.
There is a real purpose for that.
You come in, you dig really deep in that hour, and then you go out with homework, and then, but what we find is that, and I think you find this as well, is that like, hey, we're talking about a topic that's really great, and we start to really uncover something, and then the clock runs out. And then by, the next Tuesday, maybe something's happened at home and we end up going into a totally different direction and we're missing out on some of the things that maybe happened in that session that I wanted to follow up.
Yeah.
So what's different about a retreat is even though it's not that like, sitting on a couch in our room for an hour, you're able to keep going.
Yes.
And so we break up the material into 12 nice little chunks. Hello, Amanda's here. And then we get to just keep uncovering, just keep digging, and getting out of your home makes it to where you stay in the zone of like, we've carved not just 1 hour for our relationship, we've carved 3 full days, 2 nights.
Yes.
And so you're able to create more safety and just, learn more, grow more. Digging, maybe that sounds too
exploring.
Like
we are explorers.
You're finding magic. It's not. It's not like work, like sweat and
no. It's
sometimes.
Sometimes it can be. One of the other really great elements about coming to a retreat is, when you come into therapy in the middle of the week, it is just that, right? It's in the middle of your week. You're fitting it in. you know, you're taking an early lunch hour so you can fit it in, or during your lunch hour, or you're coming in at the end of a work day, right? And you're juggling between you and your partner's schedule and what your schedule or my schedule has available.
A lot of times you're meeting, like bringing 2 vehicles,
Yes.
coming from different
and then
places.
we're parting ways, and you know, we're heading back. So it's like we get this 60-minute timeout to like, okay,
Right.
let's focus for a second. Let's focus for 60 minutes, and then
Right.
okay, now back to what I was doing, and then you're back into that, and that's life, right? Like that's how a lot of us have to do it, and that's okay. But what is so awesome about the retreat is just that, like you come and you join us, especially when we do our away retreats, right? Like right now we're really focusing on the Sun Valley retreat. You come and you come Friday evening and you get checked into the beautiful lodge, and you get to go and have delicious food and your beverages of your choice, and go sit in the hot tub and just start setting the environment and the vibration, whatever you want to call it, to just be in your relationship and just be with your partner. And then we come together Saturday morning and we kind of start going from topic or building block or stepping stone, whatever you want to call it. Like we dig into that a little bit, where we talk about the topic, and then we send you and your partner to go and do some of your work, right, in this beautiful environment. And all the while, like, you know, we really try to push, like, there's really not a lot of need for phones. And so you get to kind of shut the outside world away for a little bit. And this 48 plus whatever the 12 hours is, I'm really bad. 48, it would be 60 hours. 60. Yes. You get to really set aside 60 hours of not just like you guys sitting in front of us and us telling you about how to do things, right? That is not at all that.
We're not just, you're not
make
spending
me do
12 hours in a classroom with us, like.
It's like this. It's like one of these videos. We spend about that much time going over a topic, and then it's like, okay, here's some things. Go practice this. Yeah. And we'll wander, and, you know, wave your hand if you need help, or tell us, you know, if you see us, wave us on and we won't interrupt. And, you know,
meet us by the pool. Yeah, meet us by the pond with the swans in it. I always like to be on that.
Yeah, so that is one of just the incredible elements that a retreat allows. Is it's not just that you get to come in and do the therapeutic work, right? Like you would do in that 60 minutes in a session. It's you get to incorporate all of these elements that nurture the relationship. Yeah. Time, right? Time away from being mom and dad. Time away from being the boss. Time away from being whatever your job is, or whatever other hats you wear throughout the day.
Away from the house where all of the things are staring at you.
Yeah, right. I love we're talking about Amanda's talking about
you put something away in another room and then start cleaning that room task to task. And that's really how we broke up the retreat. Is instead of, like I was telling Brandy, I was just trying to work out how to word an ad, which is, I always think about the elephant. Like, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? That's really how we approach this retreat. Like, we do it bite by bite. And some of your bites, you'll be like, that was easy. Yes. And we know, like, oh, well, there's a strength. Yeah. Like, if the breakout on gratitude was really easy because you already have a gratitude practice in your home, awesome. Like, yay! If you go out and you find that the task is difficult, then that's information for you to know, like, this is an area we can work on. Yeah. Yeah, and there's time to work on it, right? And all those other distractions aren't there. I mean, like, sometimes, you know, a friend and I are having a rich conversation. Like, you know, I know when there's things I don't want to do, right? Like, if I'm supposed to be studying for a test, and instead I'm like, today's the day I'm going to organize all my socks, right? Or I'm going to, like, clean the corners in every part of the house, or right, like you'll find all of these things. And I have been known to do that when there's conversations to even be had, that it's like, I need to go grocery shopping. We'll talk about this later, Brandon. Or, you know, I'll opt out for now.
Yeah, and so it's just beautiful because all of those distractions are moved away. They're gone, you know, and we will be there to encourage, you know, if some of those try to come back in. Like, you have a support team that will say, hey, you know, like, let's kind of get our heads back in the game. How can we help you do this? You know, do you need some support to be successful in this? Like, are we having a hard time picking a topic to talk about, or,
Right.
we'll be there to coach if you need coaching and to support you along that path. And so it's just awesome. That's the professional word. That's the technical jargon.
Awesome. Yeah, as you were talking, I had a thought. Oh, one was that I totally cleaned our bathroom instead of studying this week. So I
Yes.
know that happens. But the other thought was just on, when you go out on a date night, or maybe you get away for just a little amount of time, like maybe it's one night, and I know I feel anyway, it's like, oh, there I am. Like I found myself back, and I found my relationship back.
Yes.
And so that's another piece of, just the act of getting away will help you sometimes just center again in you, in who you are, and in your relationship.
Absolutely.
And then you add play, right?
Yes.
Because it's all sorts of, there's really fun desserts there.
We're really
creme
food-driven.
brulee. It's like a big part of the retreat.
Mhm. Yes, we'll probably talk about it.
If you don't want our help, we'll be over in a corner eating creme brulee.
Yes, yeah.
So any questions out there? We've got some people online. Anyone with questions as to what a retreat is? Why would you do that?
I'm trying to think what other things.
Like, I think who is it for?
Another thing is, and so this is an interesting one.
Okay.
I like a lot of the big fear, right, about a retreat is like, oh my gosh, you're going to bring me and my partner and you're going to make us talk about these things in front of other people. And yeah, we've kind of covered this, but like just to refresh, we don't require that you share things. And in fact, in front of other people, it's really about giving and carving space for you and your partner to come together and you two have those conversations.
Right.
But what's really cool about this environment is you're surrounded by a whole bunch of people who are all there to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there is something really, really powerful when you bring together people with the same desire and goal and hope, and we're kind of all doing that activity around each other, right? So there is support, right, and encouragement, especially you see a couple near you and you don't know what they're talking about, but you can start to see like, oh, maybe it got uncomfortable, or, oh, look, they're coming through something, like there's a connection happening, or, you get to see a myriad of emotions come up. And so that is the other really powerful thing is, honestly, it's not just your energy you're working with, it's everybody's energy, and we're all there with a common goal of like really supercharging or reconnecting or however you want to put it, but it's something designated to that relationship.
And the wisdom in the room, being able to, because we're all
driven. I don't know if they aren't. They're probably not in my.
Shannon married me for mine. I might have. That could be true. That could be. Yes, Brad's cooking as we talk tonight.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think that when you start to realize, like, you can see your relationship reflected across the room. Like, I do that.
Yeah.
We do that. And so there is that community piece of it.
Yep.
Whether you ever even exchange any sort of information, there's still that like validation that, other people are going through some trials as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. You were saying, I think, do you have suggestions your partner to start talking these skillful feelings? Closed off. And
in terms of the retreat, at least, we don't send you out with just like, okay, we've talked about gratitude, now go talk about gratitude. And so, we have, the nerdy part of us. We've crafted the questions so that you go out, and part of the like opening day beginning exercises are really like, we give you a lot of different resources and ways to ask questions, but then every single topic, you have specific discussion points. And so that takes the pressure off, because a lot of people worry about like, I don't know which direction to go and I'm not really sure what to say. And what if I ask it wrong? You have a framework. You always have a framework. If that helps.
Does that answer, Amanda, does that kind of answer the question that you're asking as far as suggestions for starting the conversations? Like, we've tried to build that into the retreat. I'm not sure if maybe your question is about just more generalized, just having conversations. with your partner. Clarify that if we're not quite hitting the mark for you. About the venue. Ooh.
So venue is Sun Valley Resort, and if you go to the website, The Thriving Relationship, and then it's under retreats.
The link is even
Sun
in
Valley.
the link is in this post.
Yes. Oh, that's right. The link for. Sorry, I'll just point. I'm sure you can see it, right?
See that, can you? Do you guys see why I love her?
I'm sure that you're just with me, and on this side,
it's
problematic.
So our
I'll let her
website,
explain.
our website is thethriving.relationship.com. The link to this retreat on our website is in the comments, or it's thethriving.relationship.com/relationship retreat. And the venue is the Sun Valley Resort. And so there is a link to the resort in our page. You can also search Sun Valley Resort, and you're going to see a beautiful picture of a big lodge type setting, and that will be. I'm trying to remember if it's sunvalley.com. If
Or sunvalleyresort.com.
We'll find it and post it. We'll give you the direct link also. But Katie, it's also in, I don't know what that's called, where we explain what we're doing tonight.
In the comment section. And we did post on our website, on the retreat page, there's a direct link to the specific rooms that we will be in. So there's more information specific to rooms. And there's a link to the spa for if anyone wants to add spa treatments in. That's always good. So,
yeah.
Amanda, in general, and okay, so we covered retreat. So in general, how are you going to get her husband talking?
Ooh.
So open-ended questions are the best thing, with my family, with the kids, what I always ask, like, how's your day? And then the answer is
fine.
Good or fine, if it's that kind of day.
It's that kind of day.
Bad.
Fine, Mom.
And so I'm always looking for how can we expand conversation of, like, tell me a story about your day. Tell me something that happened. So you're just trying to always open up. So don't give the closed-ended, which is
they don't want to be yes or
one.
no. My favorites are
no meeting.
Totally that'll work. Just kidding.
That's part of the breakouts, right?
Yeah.
Or on the
Did
pool.
Did you observe our last retreat, Amanda? No. One of mine I like to use with the family, and it works with everybody, is what was a high about your today? What was a low about your day?
Favorite thing about the day, the worst thing about your day.
And of course, these are just kind of general talking points for just general conversation.
I like Carrie's point on driving in the car. Sometimes it feels like too much pressure or something to, like, sit across from each other. So somehow, like, driving tends to open, and food. I think anytime, again, chocolate, salty, crunchy. You can tell it's been cold and we just need comfort. But I think if you add food, sometimes that helps.
Yeah, actually, no, as I think about that, Brandon and I have a lot of our most interesting conversations in the car. Yeah, when it's like, especially like if we're road tripping anywhere. Oh, Brad, thank you. Brad, put the link in there, Katie. Sunvalley.com. That's the link to the resort.
I wish I try to use specific questions. And that's sometimes, because both Brad and I can constantly, like, ooh, somebody likes our website. Ooh, my phone is in my hand a lot. And so sometimes you just have to set the stage of, like, let's just do a device-free half an hour.
Yeah.
And create that time, because it is distracting for so many of us.
Right. Yeah. There might even be maybe let him know, express that, like, and that's kind of the catch, is to express it in a way that makes it inviting and not, like, condemning. So, hey, I'd like to just visit with you. I feel like it's been, you guys have a new baby there. You're not a new baby, but a baby in the house. Like, it's been forever since we just got to talk, since we've become parents. Like, hey, can we just, like, I don't know, tell me about how work's going, or tell me about a dream, or let's talk about, and let him know that, like, you have a desire to connect with him. Because you might be surprised what door that might open up if he recognizes, if he sees that you're interested in hearing from him.
Yeah.
And hearing what he has to say. And so that might be, I mean, it might be, I don't really know. I don't know how your husband works yet, but come to the retreat. We'll help
figure it
you.
out. Charlene, hello, Charlene, and oh, I'm terrible with. You say the name. I don't want to butcher anyone's names.
Charlene and Ron, they're here
We'll
with
just
us.
go.
I'm gonna say Aguirre. Aguirre.
I'm just gonna go with Aguirre. So we're gonna see who wins. Maybe
Okay.
they're on and they'll tell us. And we're really much better with a relationship than we are with pronouncing names. Once our insurance kicks in, oh, perfect, couples work.
He's a man of few words. That's okay.
Yes,
That's okay.
I work with a lot of men of few words. It's amazing how many words are actually there once you get going.
Yeah. Sometimes it's an interesting approach to like set the stage or to create the environment where they do share, or
Mm-hmm.
they may not talk, you know, like they may not, I don't know. I have a husband who talks a ton. Like
You do not.
personally, I have a
problem.
husband who talks all the time. Like I had to really practice to be able to get into my field, like practicing asking questions because he does it all the time and I didn't have to. But
Why is this difficult?
yeah.
Was Katie, I was a silent type guy. Hey, I miss you. Yeah, I think, it's really how you open the door and, oh, you win. It's like, am I creating space or am I doing the, like, why don't we ever talk? Because if you start with any sort of accusation or,
Yeah.
a lot of times it can feel like blame or finger pointing, and then that will, it doesn't go well. So you open up conversation with the need of like, I just really miss you and I want to talk. Great point, Katie.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
It's in,
It's not letting me scroll there.
oh, there we go. Oh, I am really looking at it.
Aguirre.
Yes. You win.
I
You win.
do. What do I win? Is it a cookie? Will it be a gluten-free cookie?
I think you get hamburgers. That's what Brad is making. Thank you. Any other questions? Early bird ends on Friday.
March
right?
1st,
How's
yeah.
it March?
I know.
So March 1st is Friday.
Yes. So a couple things. There is an early bird pricing. There is also a payment plan. So
Yeah.
if it feels like, oh, that's a lot, like take advantage of that payment plan. I can't tell you how, like, it is amazing what we will spend money on, right? As couples for entertainment or just to try things out. Like I mean, there is no greater thing to invest in than your relationship. Especially as we start to have those changes that are big in our relationship, like when kids enter the relationship, like being able to have that opportunity to reground together as a couple, right? And not as mom and dad. Being mom and dad is great, but you will be a better mom and dad when you're able to take that time and really focus on your relationship. So I will just tell you, you won't regret it.
No. So the Friday special, you end up saving $90, or there is the payment plan, and the registration is.
Roll right.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm so distracted.
No, you did.
Yes.
Oh, I'm
I
impressed.
know.
And I don't think I can do that. I don't even think I have the skill, but you could just do it, right? That's why we're a team, is because she makes up for all the things.
Yes.
Katie, do you have dates for the Park City retreat? We don't yet. We're still trying to find a home for that one, so stay tuned on that one. We are trying to figure out which resort we want to play in. If anyone has any great ideas in Park City, let us know, because that'll be our first one.
Yep, that'll be new territory for us.
Yep, invest in yourself. Being able to come home to an environment that is nurturing is like worth so much. It impacts our health. It impacts our happiness. This is why we're so passionate, and it impacts your kids.
Totally.
So it's the whole package deal.
Yeah.
And plus, it's in Sun Valley.
Which is so amazing.
What is that? There's one restaurant I went for my birthday, and they make homemade vanilla bean ice cream, and they pour espresso over the top of it. And so if we're missing, that's where we are.
Probably.
Might be there Friday and on Saturday, and maybe before we leave town.
Yeah.
Any other questions? We've got people out. We like questions. Let's see, we covered, like who? That was the one thing.
Who comes? Who would want to come to these?
Right. So it could be new relationships. You just really want to get a great foundation. It could be relationships. Maybe you're feeling a little disconnected. Maybe career, kids are taking you and you want to come that way. It could be a relationship that really needs some help. And this is a way to really be able to dial in what are the specific areas you need to work on. And then there can be follow-up. If you live in our area, you can follow up with us, or we can give you some ideas of how to follow up with a clinician in wherever you live. Yes, agreed. I think the investment before makes so much more sense than trying to put in the repair. And that's one of the biggest reasons we do this, is because we generally work with couples on the repair side.
Right. When you're 20 years in and there's a lot of damage that has happened,
and years
it can be
of
done,
happiness.
and we do it. It just is, when you look back and there's so much time spent, right, either being unhappy or being miserable or not connecting, feeling lonely and isolated, and all of those other hard feelings that can kind of come when we have just big challenges in our relationship that we don't face head on, or we're not sure how to deal with. Yeah,
it's preventative, and that's so key. I can't. Thank you, Katie, for bringing that up.
Absolutely, thank you.
Who else? Oh, I saw Tom was on here. Friends and family can join us.
Yes. Yes,
so you and Jenny should come play with us. Brad would be distracting though. He would try to get you to go mountain bike with him, and we wouldn't. That wouldn't be
not during our time.
No, later. You could do that later.
Oh, everybody, you guys have been so interactive with us tonight. We
Yeah.
just love that. It's just, these are so fun when people are here to ask questions.
Otherwise, we just kind of get lost in our little conversations. So we prefer this. We prefer that. Any
Absolutely.
last questions before we sign off for tonight? You can always message us with questions.
Yes.
Email us. There's a contact form on the website.
Yeah.
If you haven't subscribed to the email list, we do send only one email. Unless they're like the end of a sale, you might get two. I guess we can't totally promise only one. But we're not going to flood your inbox. That annoys me, so I don't do that to people. So one email a week that gives you a relationship tip, or maybe it's a blog so that you can have more conversation. So a cap on the retreat, I think we keep playing around numbers. We're looking at 10 couples as a cap, because there's a lot of work to be done that we're afraid if it gets too big that it will lose some of its power.
It'll be more challenging to help each couple get the level of progress, intimacy, richness in their conversation that will, I think it would be harder for us to help everybody be able to get there, or support it, or hold space for it. So yeah, probably a cap around 10 couples.
Yeah, it's a lot more interactive. Some couples retreats I hear of, or workshops, it's like, giant rooms with 200 people. But in that style, you're just really listening, taking in information. And this one is experiential. We want to have the time to be able to do that.
It's so experiential. Like, we're going to have cans of Altoids near us because we're going to be hanging out. We'll make sure that our breath is fresh. We are not going to be up on stage away from you.
Yeah, we'll put them everywhere. So the sooner to register, the better, for sure. Yeah, there's a limit to how many people we can get into our room.
Yes.
at the Sun Valley Resort.
Yep, cool. So, all right, everybody. Send questions if you have more, if we haven't covered things. Charlene, thank you so much for getting on and asking all those questions.
Yes.
I'm so proud of myself for pronouncing it right.
It's a win night. And Katie and Amanda.
Yes.
And,
all right.
Husband Brad.
Everybody. Yeah,
everybody.
All right. So we'll talk to you all next Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Bye.